call it, somebody decides to call it, they just completed paving the first section of that, which is just this contract, which starts at Blue Ridge Highway and goes out to Highway 515. Cooper Gap Road 1.18 miles. Jones Creek Road 1.47 miles. Catoosa Creek Road 1.27 miles. Cook Henry Road 1.25 miles. This is the entire road in this case. These other mileages are portions of the road. Track Rock Gap Road 1.08 miles, and Jewel Mason Road 0.54 miles. And they got this on a competitive bid. In the past, we've been able to share with 2 or 3 different companies do the paving, but GDOT decided this year they want us to put it all out to bid, so that's what we did. Item number 10 is the adoption of a moratorium. I hereby adopt an emergency moratorium on the acceptance, processing, and consideration of an application for a business license for short-term rentals. The emergency moratorium will have an effective date of August the 16th, 2022, and will be in effect for 180 days from that date. We have started the process of examining and probably amending our existing hotel motel tax ordinance, and certainly our short-term rental program. The reason for the delay, which means we're announcing this now, but the start of is 60 days forward with an August 16th effective date for those who may already be in the process of either purchasing or rehabbing homes for use with VRBO, so that this will be fair to them if they have already begun the process of certification. And then hopefully by that date, then we'll be already forward on coming up with our new VRBO regulations. (11) through 14 are business license. I hereby approve the following business license, which are only issued for the purpose of collecting the hotel motel tax from rental. The names are, and I'm going to just spell this first name because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, E-A-N-E-S, Rental, 14 Happy Hollow Lane. Hurley Rental, 495 Pat Caldwell Road. Tumanillo Rental, 145 Rushing Water Drive. And Your Happy Place, 99 Deer Run Road. So I guess if you see the deer running, you're in a happy place. Okay, we're getting through quicker than I anticipated. At this time, item 15, I'm going to ask Laurie Brothers to come up to the podium. She's requested to speak regarding election information and multifamily housing tax consequences. Ms. Brothers, will you please go to the podium, and a reminder that you have 3 minutes. This podium right over here. I'm sorry. I had my notes to point at that point. And the microphone, you have to get really close to it. So you can raise it up a little bit if that'll help you. Everybody said she may be short. I said, well, I wasn't sure. There you go. And then just point, there you go.
About that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Elections are held at the county level. Where there are issues in an election, it is the county that should be taking the responsibility to address the issues, not the Secretary of State. Our county has the authority, not the SOS. That's why I am speaking to you today. A recount on June 1st, DeKalb County revealed drastic changes for Georgia primary election candidate Michelle Long Spears. The Gateway Pundit has an image showing 3 times the votes decreased, eerily similar to the 2020 election. The highly skewed results on this primary election are of great concern to citizens across our county and state. Voter confidence is as low as it has ever been. If we hope to continue to have voters participate in future elections, we have to do whatever it takes to ensure justice and restore confidence in the process. On Wednesday, May 25th, I spoke to Jill at the Commissioner's office inquiring how to process an open records request for elections. She told me to fill it out from the county website and she would get it to the right place. I requested vote cast records. Did you receive it? Directly emailing Libby Stevens, the election board supervisor, I also requested a copy of the physical ballots. What we really need is a forensic audit, just like in 2020, so I requested that as well. I don't get it. Union County certified 3 days after the election. Why were they in such a hurry to certify? Was the certification meeting published? It's interesting. In the monthly meeting, Libby said that she drove down to the Secretary of State office on Tuesday, and there was a sign on the door saying they were going to be out of the office all week. Imagine the SOS office being closed right after an election. We requested a hand count, but she refused our request, saying she would only take orders from the SOS. That is so strange to me. I heard recently that Pickens County, on the other hand, is going to hand count the physical ballots. Everyone in that county is on board, including Senator Gooch, their rep, and the county attorney. Thank God Pickens County has the integrity to go the extra mile to guard the freedom of their citizens. I hope citizens in Union County will have the same opportunity. Your oath, Mr. Commissioner, is to be faithful to the citizens of Union County, is it not? As a United States citizen and resident of Georgia, I am here now making an official request that a hand count of the ballots in Union County be performed. Citizens, we the people, the only thing that can stop the corruption is you. The time to speak up is now. Mr. Commissioner, please listen to my request. Our fundamental freedoms as a people are at stake, and to God be the glory. And multifamily housing, that's going to increase our taxes.
Thank you. Item number 15 is Commissioner comments. The county is also in the process of developing a noise ordinance. It will be far-reaching. It will not be far-reaching, but it will be adequate. For the first time ordinance, it will be fair and reasonable and will be necessary to help supplement the short-term rental issues. And with short-term rentals, sound seems to be the biggest complaint that we have. So the sheriff's asked us to work with him to come up with a noise ordinance. So we're in the process of doing that. The Scottish Festival was a huge success. I don't know how many got to go this past weekend, but it was awesome. And all those who attended seemed to enjoy the event. The entertainment was also incredible. Union County Farmers Market had their second weekend of the season with a large crowd, even with a festival going on. And then today, they had one of the first UGA canning plant training sessions where a individual from the University of Georgia came in and trained the people on different kind of canning processes they could use in our canning plant, which is adjacent to and part of the farmers market. We have the roof on the Moccasin Road Convenience Center located behind Petite Store and near Fire Station number 4. We've been working on that for about probably month to 6 weeks. The road department's doing an excellent job there, and as they said, we have started the building. It should be completed within about 60 days, and that will be a convenience center like the one at Highway 325, where you can still take your garbage, you can still take your recyclables. Just be much more convenient for a lot of people that are living that portion of the county. And I'm gonna officially adjourn the meeting. Our attorney, William Mercer, will be handling the question and answers, and I'm gonna turn it over to him at this time.
Hey everyone, right now we'll take questions from the audience about any agenda item. And so if you have a question, yes ma'am.
My question is, does Laurie also part of the agenda?
She made a statement on there, so you can.
My question is actually for Mr. Parra. If we get the Registrar's office and the Board of Elections to agree to petition the Secretary of State, will we be able to get Mr. Parra to do the same thing?
I don't know the answer to that right off, and all I can tell you is you can definitely ask the Commissioner's office about that, but that wasn't part of the agenda for us. I know it was Ms. Brothers, and I don't mean not to answer your question, but he didn't know what Ms. Brothers was going to speak about, but I'm sure that once he had a chance to talk to everyone and understand, I'm sure he could answer your question now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How do we find out what we're getting for $3 million on a gun range? And I ask because I've trained thousands of soldiers, police, I've built many gun ranges. What exactly are we getting for over $3 million?
That is item number 2? No.
That feels
Seven,
very
I'm
high.
sorry. All right, I'm gonna turn that over actually to our Miss Pam Hawkins. Where's she at? She's been working on that. Miss Hawkins, if you could answer his question.
I'll do the best I can to answer your question. The design rulings, we have those available to look at, but we've been working with DNR, the Fish and Wildlife, is it U.S. Forest Service Sheriff, the Fish and Wildlife Service? They actually have grant money available that they came to us a few years ago and said, hey, we'd like to help you build this gun range. And I know our gun club has been involved in anything they can to help with that process. So Breedlove Land Planning, I think the architect was Alan Wazinski. He actually designs a lot of gun ranges, especially in Georgia when there's federal money involved. So he actually designed it.
How much of this is tax dollars?
I'm sorry?
How much of this is tax money?
Okay, so U.S. Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife money, said that they've changed now and said they're going to contribute 90% federal money for this project up to $3.48 million. The county, we actually allocated $500,000 in our general fund budget for a match. And so thankfully, 10% of the, difference there, or the 10% of the total project match falls within our $500,000. Now we're gonna have a little extra because we're having to run power out there from the Blue Ridge Mountain MC and things like that. So we're hoping that $500,000 that we allocated in our general fund budget, is gonna cover.
I guess my comment is it sounds like a lot. I've shot a lot of guns. You catch bullets in a dirt mound, targets, the basics. What exactly are we paying for? Because I pay federal taxes too. I feel the inflation.
Sir, I think the best way to answer your question is if you leave your name and email, maybe we can get you a copy of the designs, if that's possible, so you could better see what's being built.
Sure.
And then, of course, if you have any suggestions or any improvements from what you say, we'd be welcome to hear.
Can I say
Sure.
a couple of things?
Oh, yeah, sure.
U.S. Forest Service and DNR have to approve the plans. If they're gonna front that much money, they have to approve the plans. If you got a few minutes after the meeting, I know Jim Marchman, who's in here, and Sheriff Moccasin, they've attended a lot of the meetings that have had to do with the plan, so they may can answer more of what it looks like. But I know
Rifle pistol. Rifle pistol.
No shotgun.
Okay, sorry, anyway.
So we don't get a shotgun range for $3.7 million?
Nope.
Sir, I'm
Sir,
not
please
sure.
let her answer.
I'm not.
All right,
involved in the
that's my
process,
bad, my
but
bad.
If you have time afterwards.
That's fine, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The commissioner brought up short-term rentals, and I'm wondering, since last month when we spoke about it, at the last month's meeting, I'm still not hearing anything about the very big concerns, so perhaps it hasn't been communicated, but I'm wondering if there's been any attention given to the fact that we just had an announcement go out that there's gonna be another increase in property taxes or assessment, which we just had one. And the concern is that with corporations buying the houses to turn them into short-term rentals, paying over asking price and pricing us out of the market is now causing our property assessment value to go up unnaturally, which is causing us to have to pay more taxes. And that is a major concern for the short-term rentals. So I'm wondering if that at all is being considered by the county.
Well,
On how to
ma'am,
protect the citizens that live here.
that, I would point you to the moratorium on 10. That's, you know, we've been hearing people's complaints about these short-term rentals. And so we wanted to put a moratorium on any new ones coming in so that the county could look into what would need to be done and what would be the best for Union County going forward. And of course, if 180 days is not enough, that could be extended. The purpose of it is to come up with a comprehensive ordinance to try to alleviate a lot of the complaints that Union County citizens have.
Right. But I'm wondering if what I'm talking about, because I spoke about it last month also, if that's part of the consideration, because that's a big issue that affects everybody in the
Well,
county.
ma'am, all I can tell you is we don't have a law in Union County, nor do we have a law in Georgia that would stop a corporation from buying a property.
So then no, the increase in property assessment values regarding our property taxes is not being considered by the county with this subject?
I don't know. That's a great question. I can look into it for you, but that's not on the agenda, so that wasn't.
He talked about it, it's on the agenda.
He talked about a moratorium on the short-term rental. I don't know if I can answer that, if there's a new assessment that your taxes would or would not go up. I know we're dealing in troubling times now with increased inflation every day, and the more you spend money at the federal level, the more it's gonna increase.
Well, we just had an increase, and then we were told we wouldn't if we passed East Bloss, and
Okay.
now it's increasing again, and it seems to be because of the short-term rentals. So perhaps it should be something considered.
I would still point you to number 10, Ms. Moore.
On the agenda?
because- Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Because that's the purpose of the moratorium.
Okay.
To put a stop to people actually making new short-term rentals until we can figure out how to properly serve Union County.
Okay,
Everything will be considered in that.
Okay.
From noise to property taxes to people's property values, which goes into
so
property
it
taxes.
is a consideration for the
It
moratorium?
would be considered inside of the committee set up to do that ordinance. We haven't started it yet.
That's all I wanted to
But-
know.
Well, I must have misunderstood you. It sounded like you were directly asking if it's gonna make it go up or not, and I couldn't.
No, I was
couldn't answer that.
asking if it was if it was a consideration going forward.
Everything, all the problems that we have been told of are gonna be considered as part of the committee. I think there's somebody, were you asked to be on that committee? I believe we actually have someone here. Ms. Barton was asked to be on that committee. Citizens are trying to come together and just figure out what the best thing is for Union County and their citizens. And that includes everything. And so that's the purpose of the moratorium.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, well, if no more questions, we're gonna shut it down. I did hear today, okay, Ms. Brothers.
Oh, I have a question. I sent an open records request on Monday, and I've not received any response as of today.
Is it the one you spoke about?
It is not, totally different Monday. To county and the elections board, haven't heard anything.
If you stay around afterwards, we'll look into that before you leave, okay? Anyone else? All right, well, we're gonna officially shut this down, but I did hear the EMC's asking y'all to conserve power, or we're all gonna lose it. So, try to conserve power, please. I don't wanna lose my power. I know y'all don't want to either. I get hot. Need my AC. All right, y'all have a good evening.
Power